Right, so welcome back to another episode of the Bach and Arthur podcast.
So right.
Ooh, nice.
Thanks.
I want to start off by just saying that the woke mob have won.
Ricky Gervais is here.
You've got what you wanted. Every week I've had a nice glass of water on the side, just balancing on the armrest on my chair. And now they've told me I'm not allowed it anymore and I've got a bottled water.
I would actually argue it was Pyrex glass.
Okay, it might have been Pyrex glass, just a type of glass.
Do you want to know why I said that? Because we were speaking about that before, basically, and Arthur said he thinks it's Pyrex, so I stole it from him.
And I was like, that's so boring. Let's not talk about it on the podcast. And he's done it anyway.
Yeah,
weird guy.
We started filming and he started talking about Pyrex, and then we were like, okay, let's restart it because it's boring.
I was like, I'm boring everyone right now.
And I brought it back up. But I did want to just say, so Volvic sends you this, right?
Yeah.
Full transparency.
Well, no, I just bought that. As a part of a meal deal.
Oh, but Volvic
But they've given me some touch of fruit, the fizzy cans, which are delightful.
Yeah, guess what? So he gets sent Volvic. Liquid Death sent me cans. So that shows I'm cool, hard, aggressive. You are whimper audio.
What? I'm
pathetic
fruity. Oh, no,
little boy.
not fruity.
Yeah, you're
that
fruit.
in a nice way.
Yeah, I know what you
Not
mean.
that that's not a nice way, but that's just not what I meant to say.
No, but it could come across as if it was hate speech, and you're saying
What?
It wasn't hate speech.
Well,
That's what you
wasn't
mean.
either. It's just I just didn't mean I'm fruity.
Yeah.
Although the comment section may very well disagree. So
I
who knows?
actually. Oh, I didn't bring this up. It's a good thing I didn't because we can speak about it right now. But I saw a comment saying, I don't know if it was on your vlog, which you posted on Arthur Frederick. If you haven't subscribed, go and subscribe.
Come on.
And they said, I can't tell if this is just them joking around or they're slowly trying to drop a hint that they're actually exploring an intimate relationship with each other. I don't know if it was about me and you or you and George, but we're not, by the way.
Do you check the comment sections of my videos?
Yeah, because I want to see if anyone's like, oh, Italianbach is so funny.
I delete all the nice comments about you because I'm like,
I know
this
because
is my
there's none
channel.
there, and I was thinking, oh, this is impossible. This is impossible.
Like, this is my channel. All eyes on me.
Yeah, you just keep the hate comments about me.
I write them on my 5 burners. Something else I wanted to briefly bring up, actually comments related, the colours. Every week, I swear, one of us is too yellow or one of us... I had the George Clarkey episode. Everyone was like, Arthur's got jaundice.
To be
And
fair,
then
it did look like it.
I was very yellow, that one, to be fair. And then last episode, you were too yellow.
Yeah, and especially like it was just around the mouth, really, and on my eyes. I didn't have stuff around my mouth. Some people thought I just eaten a bolognese and then hopped on the podcast. It's just the colours in post edit, I think.
It's slightly your face as well, though, because when we get our thumbnails back, they're the exact same. Our first round of thumbnails come back and he's always got an orange mouth.
Yeah, but does it look like that in real life?
Slightly. You'd be surprised that actually ever so slightly, this is a slightly different colour. Because you've got kind of like pinky rosy cheeks, but this is like a...
Yeah, I've got
real yellow.
rosacea. I've got rosacea here. That's why it's pink.
I thought you just blushed a lot when we hung out.
No, it's just rosacea. It's got nothing to do with you. Nothing.
Yeah,
Absolutely nothing.
right.
And if I've got pigmentation around my mouth, it's because I'm kind of spicy. That's all that is.
Fair. Because, I like bumping up the saturation a little bit because I like colours a lot.
And on the George episode, he got a little heavy-handed on the
Yeah, I
saturation.
did. And I try and balance it, but sometimes it gets a bit wrong.
In person, this guy's pasty white.
I saw one comment. One comment replied to the thing being like, Batch is really yellow today. Being like, Arthur does the colour corrections and he bumps the saturation up. It looks nice on him, but it looks awful on Batch.
Yeah, I actually do think you do that. You don't
As if I'm
consider
sitting
me.
there going like,
Yeah.
you know when people you get a group photo and they only post them where they look nice and you're like mid sneeze or something.
Well, on our Patreon exclusive video, which will come out soon, he told me to do some colour correction. I did it. He said, this looks shit. And then he said, we need to make you more pink.
To be fair,
He's actually sabotaging me. I'm not that pink in real life, okay?
to be fair, you look like Bart Simpson in this.
I did make us kind of a little bit yellow.
In the Patreon.
But what didn't help last episode is that I actually developed a tan in between last episode and the episode before. So I look a bit yellow. He's not used to color correcting this new spiciness that I've developed.
Yeah,
basically.
no, it's inherent. I've just brought it out to the surface.
Yeah.
Speaking of Patreon people and non-Patrons, actually, so we can now reveal that Batch and I are taking part in the Red Bull soapbox race. What? Where you build a little go-kart with a frame. We're going to have a rocket ship or a UFO maybe.
Yeah.
And bomb it down this mountain and just smash into hay bales and do flips and probably break a few bones.
Yeah.
And it's going to be really fun.
We just built the chassis.
Yeah, we did. We've built the underlying car.
Yeah, we just need to make our design. It was a lot of stress actually building that chassis because there was other teams involved, like Chip and Freezy are there, Con's there, and there's a lot of thieving going on. People aren't actually kind. There's no community in soapbox racing. It's everyone's out for blood. But
you'll find all of this out because we had build day 1, we've got build day 2 coming up, and then we've got the race day, and we're vlogging all of it. We vlogged part 1.
We are.
And so tickets will be coming out. The race itself is going to be on Saturday, the 22nd of June. And as we promised for the Patreon people, they'll have priority to like buy the tickets. But I'm sure there'll be plenty more left over. So follow us on social media and we'll post them out somewhere. Yeah. And you guys can come watch us and I think we're planning on doing a meet and greet. I think we've got some Red Bull to be able to give away. Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
I think we've got some Red Bull to be able to give you guys. So that should be really good fun.
Yeah, if you're over 18, is it, or 16?
Red Bull. Oh yeah, I get ID'd when I buy Red Bull. I'm going to ID
you. If you pull up and you want some Red Bull, you're getting ID'd on spot.
Yeah.
On site. If you look under 25, I'm IDing you.
But yeah, come along to that. And then we're making one mega video out of that, which will come out on the Batch and Arthur podcast YouTube channel.
Yes. And then Patreon will give you behind the scenes, unseen bits 30 days early, which will then go up on the YouTube 30 days later, right?
Nice.
That's
we'll still figure out how exactly to do it. But because it's such a big video and it's going to be such a cool one, we do want everyone to see it. But obviously, as usual, we'll give Patreon either early access or some behind the scenes or something.
We'll give you a little
just a little extra spice.
A little bit of spice.
And actually following up what we spoke about on the last podcast where we were like, oh, should we just do more like kind of unedited, whimsical, fun content?
Yes.
Like the Clarkson thing, but just randomly. You kidnapped me and did what to me?
Well, okay, so after the Red Bull, wait, which time? After the Red Bull event, it was in Milton Keynes, the HQ's in Milton Keynes, and Arthur actually pulled up to the Red Bull event on a coach by himself. The coach was empty, just him in it, from London Victoria because no one else got the coach.
All the other creators made their own way there.
Everyone else drove there, but he's actually got his license revoked.
It's not true.
No, that's not true. So after the thing, I was like, oh, do you want to go into Milton Keynes after this? Milk and beans, if you guys get the joke. That's hilarious. And he was up for it. He was like, I don't want to get the coach back. I said, I'll drop you off at the station and you can get a train home to London from there. It's like half an hour. But once he's in my car and we're moving at 60 miles per hour, it's a different story, isn't it? And I got the doors locked. He's coming with me. I'm taking him straight to Milk and Beans Centre. And I'm taking him straight to a Waterstones where he stops off for a toilet and I start a vlog. Boom. And then we just do the best vlog you've ever seen happen in Milton Keynes.
I cannot believe how funny this vlog was for 2 hours in Milton Keynes shopping centre.
Well, we weren't actually going to film anything, but we got into, I think we were just going to go there to eat, right?
Yeah, we were just going to go for Fernando's.
Little look around. But we got to Waterstones. We were just looking in Waterstones. And I just thought, oh, why not vlog this? Because if we go and eat somewhere, it's kind of like a mukbang sort of, but not really. I mean, the Patreon exclusive mukbang was just a meal, so same difference. But then we got to Milton Keynes, and they've got the upside down house in the middle. We went inside that, so that was pretty fun, and then walked around for a bit and then got some food. We went to Wagamama's actually instead. I think got over half an hour of footage for that.
It was we were just in one of those moods. I think we got a bit delirious because the Red Bull thing started. The coach was from 8 o'clock at Victoria Station. So I was up at like 6:30, 7, which is so much early for me. I'm usually like a 9:30, 10 o'clock rise. I sleep usually like 1:30 till 9:30, maybe 2 till 10. That's just on my natural circadian rhythm. So this one threw me off. So by the end of the day, we were just in a weird mood and we had a pint of beer. So
yeah, we did.
We got a bit crazy.
We went to the Cozy Club and we had
Cozy Club.
Menabrea. That's what we had. I realised I pronounced it wrong at the time.
Is that an Italian or a Spanish beer, was it?
Oh, it's Italian.
Yeah, very
It's really
nice.
good, guys. Just try it. It's really crisp and refreshing. But and send some out if you can, Menabrea, please.
Yeah, real Italian, not like this faker.
Yeah, just send it to us.
My grandma went to Italy 3 times, therefore I'm italianbach.
Sometimes I've got to just remember to keep my cool because I could literally crush him like that, guys. It just wouldn't be. It wouldn't be fair to do that.
But lots of fun content coming out.
Oh yeah, and we were delirious, but also unlimited Red Bull when you're there. So we had 7 in a row.
We had way too much
which
Red
we
Bull.
don't recommend doing. And that's not true. We didn't. I gotta be honest. We didn't do 7 in a row.
I felt like
Stop
Jim
lying to me.
Carrey in Yes Man when he just has like too many Red Bulls.
Yeah.
Do you know?
So we were
Red
pinging.
Bull.
Although he had. Wait, what flavor did you have to begin with?
What?
He had like peach.
I had a apricot with a hint of strawberry or something.
Which is like a yogurt flavor sort of thing, and they put it in a
What?
drink.
Yeah.
No caffeine in it, by the way. And he refused a second Red Bull because he's like, I don't want to have too much caffeine. I said, there's no caffeine in your first drink, boy.
I'm just not a caffeine-y person, really. I have a cup of tea in the morning.
I'm caffeinated up.
But speaking of people going off the rails a little bit, I saw a tweet today, and people like the pulling up the tweets and memes last episode. So I saw another one. This guy, this little AI guru, if you're not on Twitter, these sort of like AI tech bro, crypto gurus come out with some absolute waffle sometimes.
Yeah.
And this guy...
More waffle than a breakfast joint, am I right?
Yeah. That was like IHOP, but worse.
Yeah.
This guy tweeted out, prediction, and I want your thoughts on this. AI will displace social drinking within 5 years. Just as alcohol is a social disinhibitor, like the Steve Martin movie Roxanne, people will use AI-powered earbuds to help them socialize. At first, we'll view it as creepy, but it will quickly become superior to alcohol. In 20 years, people will think of drinking as antiquated and humorous, like attending a seance. How did people think that was a good idea, he asks.
Wait, so what he's saying is people only really drink alcohol now for a bit of confidence in a social setting?
I guess so.
And AI in the ear will replace
And he thinks
that.
we're going to have earbuds or chip implants in our brains or something that will make us better at socializing, so we won't need to poison our body with alcohol.
When you put it like that, like we don't need to poison our body, it sounds good. But I would argue that I never drink for confidence. I would only drink in a social setting because you're all drinking. It's like...
You
like
bow
a
to
Viking.
peer pressure, do you?
No, it's more like, I mean, the only reason anyone does drugs, alcohol, anything is to chase a different feeling. And you can't get that from AI in your ear unless it's whispering sweet nothings.
I do think it's weird. Someone was speaking about this the other day saying, if your mate came up to you and were like, here, sniff this weird new drug on the market, but just letting you know tomorrow you're going to feel awful, you're going to be nauseous, you won't be able to eat, you'll feel weak, your muscles will be gone, you'll have like skyrocketed anxiety, all this kind of stuff. You'd be like, no, that sounds like it's terrible. But call it a hangover, and all of a sudden, because they're all hangover symptoms.
True.
Then all of a sudden everyone's like, oh yeah, drinking perfectly fine and normal.
It's just been a part of culture for so long, and every culture as well, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
it's just kind
maybe
of
there's cultures
easy
where
to
it
brew
doesn't
naturally,
exist.
isn't it? It's almost too easy.
Yeah, and I don't know. I can see both sides to it. I can see why it could be looked at like kind of what's the word, like not prehistoric. You know what I'm trying to say? Like not dated, but barbaric kind of maybe.
Yeah.
But I also feel like in moderation, it's not too much harm in it.
Yeah, that's true. I think most people obviously, because we do know all the risks and stuff that come with it.
Yeah.
And obviously, some people are prone to alcoholism and stuff. And just speaking more from my own experience, I think I've weighed up the pros and cons of it and go, the amount of damage that this 1 pint's going to do, it's not as bad as the benefit of, it tastes nice and I enjoy the little buzz and I have a good time.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's all right to have a Guinness every now and then, split the G with the boys.
So you think that guy's waffling? You think that's a bunch of rubbish?
It's really hard to tell because the future, obviously, AI is going to find its way into every aspect of life.
Yeah.
And things will change a lot.
The new iPhones are coming equipped with them.
Which is great. I don't know if I should
Siri
say it's
is
great.
so dumb.
Yeah.
It's really annoying how bad Siri is. Like you ask it stuff and it just doesn't do much for you.
That's why I think it's great because it would really be a handy resource to have just Siri who can actually do something for you. Like picture you're getting off the train, you're like, oh crap, I actually didn't put in on my maps where I need to go. It's like a faff to get it. Hey Siri, can you take me here or can you take me to the nearest? And they can actually do it. Like right now it's pretty crap. It's not very good and they're not very good at like picking up what you actually said. So it definitely would make a lot of things easier.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think people do think it's a scary thought. I don't know if certain levels of AI should be so accessible for the general population yet.
Interesting.
Back to the hangover thing, by the way. Do you really get hangovers or not?
Yeah, it depends how much I drink. I got much better at it. Like towards the end of my uni,
Yeah.
I had just, this is so nerdy, but I calculated the exact number of units I needed to get drunk, feel a great level of drunk, and not be too hungover.
That's the most Arthur thing ever.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So I think it was like 13 or 14 units was like
You've been unit maxing?
to me. I was unit maxing. Obviously, it does slightly change with how much you eat, what kind of mood you're in, all that kind of stuff, like what type of alcohol it is. But generally, that was a pretty good rule of thumb that if I didn't go over, and as well, the whole chugging a pint of water and eating a meal before you sleep, I would always do that, and it makes such a big difference.
It really does depend for me a lot what I drink as well.
But I am a bit of a, I do get the anxiety a little bit because I already know I'm already pretty weird. And
What? No.
Like I watch the pub golf stuff and I'm like, I'm just not normal. I'm not normal as it is. Why
I'm
I then
crazy.
get drunk on camera is like the pub crawl that we did. I watched it back and I was like, this is just so weird.
I mean, even in this Sidemen video, we're weird. We were weird.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, I would say we're just pretty strange as it is.
Yeah.
And then it just inhibits my. Do you remember I was saying in one of the podcast episodes that like I enjoy joking to make people feel uncomfortable? Like they're like, oh, you know, Mum, he's hungry and wants some food. He says your cooking wasn't good or something.
Yeah.
Anything like that.
You did it to someone literally on the Red Bull thing.
Yes, I did.
Who was it?
Because we looked at each other and gave each other that nod.
Yeah, and I was just glad you didn't do it to me because you do it so often.
Yeah.
I can't remember when or where.
Hopefully it'll come up in the vlog.
Oh, did you do it with Jake or something?
Maybe.
I can't remember.
But the part of my brain that goes, nah, don't do that now, goes away when I'm drunk. So I just love it and like,
Yeah, it shows.
oh man, I'm dancing like a weirdo on the dance floor with the gang.
Oh, and yet you'll make fun of me dancing and say, stop dancing, you can't dance.
Yeah, but I've got, no, oh my goodness, that bit in the Simon video when I tried to do the worm thing that you do, and there was a woman behind me that gagged.
Yeah, stop stealing. You guys, okay, go and watch the Sidemen of you. You guys know that I used the gag line first. He's stealing it. He's using it in every piece of content since then. It's become his thing.
You say it as if like you can't retell jokes. It's my favorite thing to
It's
say
become
at the
your
moment
thing, though.
that someone gagged. Oh, I said it again at the Red Bull thing when you weren't there at someone. Because you remember the nice lady that did the TikToks with us?
Yeah.
I think I was with Jake and he did something embarrassing and she just gagged and she just burst out laughing. And I was like, that is a classic.
That's where I draw the line.
Jake, by the way, was
That
in our
laugh
vlog.
should have been for me.
And he is my co-pilot. He helps me with
Pookie.
everything, editing, scripting.
You're Pookie.
Yeah.
Speaking of Pookie.
He's what Batch wishes he was.
Do you want to mention the whole Pookie thing? Because we don't know if it was caught in the vlog.
Oh, we don't. Oh, this was so awkward.
We were in this big room at Red Bull full of F1 cars. And there's a guy giving us a talk through like what we're going to be doing and stuff like that. Everyone stood in like a crescent around him. And he's just explaining stuff. What did you say?
So Chip goes, how much does this car weigh?
Yeah.
And he says a number because he's like, oh, these are light Formula One cars. How much does it weigh or something? And then Chip goes, oh, my girlfriend's Fiat 500 doesn't weigh that much. And I was like, bro, just wanted to let everyone know he had a girlfriend. And everyone laughed at that. And it goes dead silent just as I start saying, my Pookie's got a Fiat 500 that doesn't weigh much. And I just turn around. Batch has his head in his hands and the room is silent.
No one even reacted to it. And the room is full of camera operators, people on socials and stuff like that.
Oh,
like there was maybe 20 people, do you think? Or, like, between 10 and 20 people
like
who
Red Bull
weren't.
people who are like the coolest people ever as well.
And he just hits us with the Pookie line and it's completely silent. And I didn't even laugh because I was like, if I laugh now, I'm banded in with that freak. So I had to be tactful there. I was
Freezy just went, well, that was painful. And then he walked away.
Yeah, Freezy even acknowledged the fact that it was painful. Which made it even worse.
But I enjoyed it. I think it's so funny because Chip got so embarrassed. Which meant that for me, it was worth it.
But it's a good way to be though, because the truth is, no one cares. Like even if you feel like you've embarrassed yourself slightly, no one remembers it.
The second I started just going like, because none of this really matters, I'm just going to enjoy all of it myself.
Yeah.
And you stop feeling embarrassed. You're like, especially like when you've got like a solidified friendship group, I'm like, even if I get, say something a bit weird or cringe or embarrassing and everyone laughs, like we're sitting here just telling the story and it's funny. Like,
yeah, we're getting more out of it than the people you think find you embarrassing.
Yeah.
Have like got out, if that makes sense.
So I try and convince myself that, being a bit embarrassing and cringe and weird sometimes is fine.
It's good. I mean, think of how much of a laugh we've had at the fact that you said Pookie and the room was silent.
Yeah, that's true.
And whereas the people who might have, like, you might think in your head, oh, that's a bit embarrassing, the people actually don't care at all.
Yeah.
Whereas to us, it's so funny. So it's a good thing to do, to say Pookie in a silent room, actually.
So true.
As it turns out.
So when I was talking about that terrible AI take,
yeah,
the one thing that did resonate with me is the idea that future generations will think we're weird for doing stuff the same way we think about past generations like doing stuff. We just go, what? You genuinely used to like, wow. You know, on the internet, like when they used to get an image up, it would sort of load top to bottom and take like 30 seconds. And that to us, we're like, what? Like you can click on a thing and it's loaded before you even scrolled to it.
And like a phone call had to go through someone who would put you through to the actual person.
And like when our parents were growing up, like if they wanted to meet their mates after school, they'd just be like, oh, meet here in this time and just hope that they show up.
Yeah.
There's no texting them being like, I'm here, whereabouts are you? Are you still coming?
Yeah. And even like nowadays, half the people I speak to if they're going to a friend's house, they don't knock on the door, they'll text them.
Yeah.
Whereas obviously you would only ever knock before.
And so I think a lot of things now our kids will be like, what? And I think one of them is global travel. I think our kids could easily be like, you used to never go to Australia because it took you 24 hours to get there. It took you an entire day. That's crazy. Whether there'll be some sort of like Elon Musk tunnel network that will zip us there in an hour, or like super fast trains, underground, overground, super fast planes.
Yeah, well,
teleportation. Maybe AI solves teleportation for us.
I think in the next like 5 years, Elon Musk is thinking about setting up a system where I can't remember the name of the actual ship, but there would be like platforms in the ocean that you would get a boat out to. You'd get on just like a passenger plane. You could fit more people in it than a passenger plane. It would go up into low orbit, and it would take an hour to get to Australia, and then you're back down and land. And it would be cheaper than current flights because you only need enough fuel to get into orbit and to land. You don't need it on the way. Yeah, but you could fill these things with so many people that ticket prices go down drastically. And that would be like low orbit travel would be the new form of travel because it's just so much quicker.
Yeah, because you're just falling. You're just using gravity to
you don't like, what do current planes go, like 500 miles per hour, something like that?
Yeah.
I don't know the exact figure, but it'll probably be like 10,000 miles per hour or something like that in low orbit.
Yeah, that's crazy. I think ISS is at 20,000 mile an hour, isn't it? That's mental.
So it'd be slightly lower than that, I'd assume.
Yeah.
But it would take an hour to get to Australia.
I was reading the other day about the problems of orbit though at the moment is the amount of junk in space orbiting around us.
Yeah, that's true.
Sort of, did you see the ISS had that little hole in it?
Yeah, because it's just constantly getting hit.
Yeah, by just little things.
There's loads of space debris.
It's kind of stupid, I think, that all our countries have split up into multiple different like space agencies.
I agree, yeah.
Like the fact that we've all got different things and all tracking. Like I know there's like a main system where everyone's space objects that are in low Earth orbit are all tracked, so you can figure out how like where they are. But a lot, like some of them get lost, some of them break up into smaller parts, some of them lose smaller parts, some of them you lose signal with. And like when you've got something that's traveling at, tens of thousands of miles an hour, like even a tiny pebble can absolutely wreck an entire ship.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's pretty scary. So that would freak me out about being in low Earth orbit.
Even in general, like in the future, I'd hope that they'd look back and think the idea of countries and borders is silly. And because at the end of the day, we are all one human race. You should all work together. Imagine how much further we'd be.
With the space travel. Yeah.
We all worked together. We spoke one language. Just like a human race, rather than you've got USA on the moon, you've got humans on the moon. Or do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, it is weird. I think they will look back and think it is weird. There's so much separation between countries and stuff because we're just humans on a planet.
I think war as well.
And then war would be eradicated.
Will be one bit where we're just going to go, as if you used to just kill each other over like stupid disagreements because you identified as this type of group and you identified as this type of group.
Yeah, invisible borders.
And yeah, it's just insane. Like
it's very strange.
I'm surprised even now when you see that there's when there are wars, and it's like, especially with how global the internet is, like when I think this is kind of like weird, but I always think about it in terms of like gaming. Like when I grew up, like I'd be playing Xbox with like a kid from Russia and a kid from Ukraine and a kid from, you know, the Middle East and a kid from Asia and a kid from Africa and like all this kind of stuff. And when all of a sudden people go, oh, our country's going to war with this country, like our parents would have grown up not really knowing a Russian kid or a Chinese kid.
Yeah,
I think Russia and China are supposed to be the two ones that people think we're most likely to go to war with.
Yeah.
But now I'd just be like, I've got mates online that are Russian and Chinese that I play RuneScape with or play Call of Duty or play FIFA. And it's like, they're not this like strange kind of other people. Like they're literally just the exact same as us.
Yeah.
Sure, they have there will be differences in beliefs and systems and all that kind of stuff. But the idea that people kill each other over this type of stuff, it's just so bizarre.
It is really strange. And I just don't know whether humans will ever get to a point in the future where it's just one united species. I think there will always be separation. No one will ever work together. I find it hard to believe that there will be a point where like people from USA, people from Russia are working together, or people from China and people from USA are working together on one space program and stuff like that.
It is, yeah. It's the downside of us being animals and us being apes that are naturally tribal. Like, you can go, oh, you know, here are two people, and people go, oh, I'm one skin color, you're another skin color, we're different, I don't like you. But then you can get two people and you go, oh, I speak one language, I speak another one. Oh, okay, I don't like you. And then you go, okay, what about everyone in England? And you go, oh, people from the north and the south don't like each other. And then it's like, oh, what about, you know, just one place, one city, London. Then you get east and west. And it's like, and then even in east, you get different football teams and stuff. Like naturally as humans, we love to go really tribal. And it's like, it's such a shame about aspect of who we are as humans. But then, I don't know, maybe just future generations, maybe we can reach a point where we go, we are smart enough to educate ourselves and go, I know that's our natural tendency. But if everyone brings up their kids, just going, we are all humans, and like, you're always going to have this tendency to be like, they're others and we're us and we want to protect us and we don't like them and they're strangers, and just be like, you know, you should be able to identify that and go, actually.
I just don't know if it will ever happen on Earth. Like, maybe, I think it would just you'd need like a fresh start, like when we make it to Mars and eventually colonize the whole planet.
Yeah.
Everyone is Martian.
Yeah.
Rather than you've got someone from this country on Mars, this country. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Or maybe split up by like all the different things, because there's enough planets for all of them.
Yeah.
And split everyone who feels exactly this way about all this kind of stuff, and then you just live in this system where you go, oh, I agree with everyone.
Yeah.
But I bet you'll find something.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You know.
But yeah, I just don't see it happening. Like, I think there's just too much has happened on this planet with these people for us to ever be one united.
Oh, you think we wouldn't be able to move past the history?
No, not on this planet. I don't think. I think when you move planet, it becomes like in people's heads, it's different. Like a whole new set of people will end up going to Mars with probably the mindset of being, let's unite everyone. Whereas people who are like, no, I was born on Earth, this is my world, whatever, they'll probably end up having some sort of resentful feelings towards the Martians. Then it becomes Earth versus Martians. Maybe that'll bring Earth together. You know, you do need something to bring people together. And that actually, on the Sapiens book, that's what it was talking about religion. It brought tribes together. It was such an important factor to get people to work together because they could believe in one thing all together. And so
that was what we went into Waterstones to buy.
Yeah.
But then I realized my backpack was full of Red Bull stuff. So
yeah,
I ended up buying it on Amazon, and it's actually just arrived. I got the notification that it arrived today.
I can't wait for you to read that.
Yeah.
I did say, I said it on some video, but people keep commenting what book I was talking about in the Chris MD episode, like about by 2050, AI will be in charge and like immortality and stuff like that. The book is called Scary Smart. So there you go. There's a book recommendation.
I'm glad you said that, because the number of comments and messages.
That's loads, and I was getting a lot of DMs as well. Sorry, I can't reply to every single DM, but this is why I thought I'd address it on here.
He doesn't even reply to me.
No, I don't.
Yeah, interesting. I think another one, surely in the near future, will be phones running out of battery. I think it's crazy that you can wake up with a fully charged phone and then by like late afternoon, it can be drained.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when you see Apple being like, our new phone, the thinnest phone we've ever made. It's like, I don't care about this phone being thin. Piss off. Double the size of it, fill it with 3 times as much battery so that no matter what I'm doing, when I wake up, even if I went full brightness, the torches on, music blaring, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, all this kind of stuff, still at the end of the day, it has battery. That's all I care about.
Yeah,
I can't believe we're in 2024.
He's not happy about
it really annoys me.
It's funny actually because I just bought a portable charger and I was thinking, why do I have to bring an extra battery pack for this thing? This should have solar panels on the back or something. I think the same thing will apply to vehicles because eventually when we're at a point where all cars are electric, you'll probably have some form of solar panel system all over the car where it just regenerates energy and you never have to fill it up with electricity.
Do you remember when the sort of science world was sort of losing its mind at the superconductor?
Yes.
And then it turned out to not really work.
Yeah. But something like that might come along again. And it does work.
In the world of physics and chemistry, I guess.
Yeah.
They do believe that there is going to be one day a battery that you can make that just is basically just going to be infinite energy. Not quite infinite, but just like, you know, you make a phone with this battery and it will just last forever. Like there will never be a need to charge it because it won't in your lifetime drain. And same with cars and then planes and then...
Quantum computers will lead us there.
Yeah. It's all pretty cool, really. There's a lot really cool. But I just think now we're at that kind of place in technology where everything's just spiraling and spiraling and spiraling that our kids are going to just have their mind. And if there's any you guys can think of, leave them in the comments because I find this really interesting. What do you think your kids, if you have any, or the next generations are going to be like, you grew up doing this? No way.
Yeah,
you couldn't do this. What? Yeah.
It's a very nice thought, actually, to have. It really is.
Yeah.
I wonder if cameras, there might be something to do with cameras. It's weird that you ever use cameras. We can just download it from our eyes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, vlogs, POV vlogs. That'd be pretty cool.
It would be good.
Then we won't have the issue because there's always an issue when we're vlogging where something really funny will happen and I'm like, oh, I wasn't recording.
Yeah.
And then you go do that again and you pull out and you start recording and it never hits the same.
Do you know what you would end up having though? Like you'd have a cameraman, but the guy's job is literally just to stare at you guys because they're going to get
just to watch you.
And they were like, you weren't fucking what, you blinked at the wrong time.
That's so true.
Or he goes to the toilet and as we were reviewing the footage, we're like, you should have turned your eyes off at that point. We just saw your pee-pee.
Oh, weird. You know what else is weird?
No, what?
Brainworms.
Brain-eating an amoeba.
So this is a really big thing at the moment because the Kennedy, the
John F. Kennedy?
Is it his son or grandson who's running for...
Yeah, something like that.
The presidential election, said that worms had eaten part of his brain and that part of his brain was dead. And everyone was like, this can't be normal. And then experts came out and said, we think that there are millions, 8 or 9 million people in the US currently living with brain worms. And I was like, this is already weird. Saw a TikTok about it, Googled it. Apparently, you're supposed to deworm as an adult every 6 to 12 months. Isn't that so? Do you deworm?
Yeah.
What?
Because when I'm doing my dog, I'll go a little bit for you, a little bit for me, a little bit for you, a little bit for me. And they make them in these delicious little treats.
That is going to kill you. They are not for human.
I don't really do that.
No.
But it's actually a good point because you do like deworm. I'm deworming my dog 24/7.
Yeah, I mean,
not
they
because
do
he's got
lick
worms, but you got to be careful. Yeah, they're out in the dirt a lot.
Out in.
I guess we're not outside as much.
And probably raw meat. Because one of the main reasons you get it is from raw, uncooked meat.
Is it really? Because I'll be honest.
Beef and pork.
I dabbled with having worms as a child, but I played outside all the time, and I heard it's when you get dirt under your nails, you don't wash your hands properly, and then you eat.
Washing your hands is the number one way, experts say, to avoid getting brainworms. It's so crucial to have good
I just
hygiene.
find it really hard to understand how the worms... So are you saying they go from your mouth and they find their way to your brain? Because that seems impossible.
So it's lava. So it's not the actual worms. There's not little worms.
They made
larvae.
Minecraft lava
They're
a real
little
thing.
they're baby eggs. Basically, work their way into your digestive system. They hatch. They then
And they
make
don't get
more,
killed by the stomach acid.
and then it go. No, that's why they're so good at. Well, yeah, that's why they survive. That's why I do think people think that your stomach acid is just the be all and end all for living things. But obviously, getting food poisoning a lot of the time is from live bacteria and pathogens. It's not all just eating the toxic byproducts of them eating your food.
Why does it go to the brain? Why are they like, oh, I'm in the stomach. I could take a bite.
Well, it goes everywhere. So there was an X-ray or an MRI of a woman who had worms, and it's not just her brain. It literally is just little white, like almost like slugs everywhere. Muscles, lymph nodes, organs, brain, heart, like everywhere. I'll add a photo if I can find it for the viewers on YouTube and stuff. But it is genuinely, it's everywhere. And obviously, once it gets to your brain, that's when the real problems set in, because, you know, if there's lava in your muscles, grim, gross, but like maybe okay. But when they start taking up space in your brain and eating your brain, that's when you start getting nausea. And they think that adult epilepsy, like a great number of people that get epilepsy into their adulthood, is actually caused by people who have brain worms.
I wish you never brought this up.
And sometimes you can eat the food and it's years down the line that it finally makes its way into your brain and starts hatching. So you could have it now, which is why you're supposed to, every 6 to 12 months, deworm.
But if I deworm now, would I be good?
Yeah.
Okay, we need to go.
So we should
go to the vets after this, because I'm...
Speak, obviously, when we're not giving out any medical advice, speak to your doctors and health professionals and health providers before you take any...
And don't let Arthur
Deworm
freak
ready.
you out. You probably haven't got brain worms, all right?
Yeah. But there was a family in the news recently, 9 of them, and they ate, I didn't even know people ate this. They ate bear meat that was too raw.
They eat bear meat. Well, sometimes I eat bear meat when I go to like Nando's and that.
You eat bear
I get
meat.
double chicken, so I'm getting bear meat.
Okay, that's top 3 most cringe things you've said on a podcast. But anyway, a couple of the men were out on a hunting trip, and they killed an American black bear, brought it back. They had a big grill, a big family cookout. They grilled the black bear, but they didn't cook it all the way through. And even the people who didn't eat the meat, they just ate the vegetables that were cooked on the grill, also got these brain worms.
So they're thermophiles,
Yeah.
guys, which you need to avoid them at all costs.
So pretty severe, but pretty crazy. And all of a sudden, just because of this old Kennedy guy being like, yeah, worms ate my brain, everyone was like, what? And loads of medical professionals were like, yeah, none of you guys deworm like you should every 6 to 12 months.
I'm going to look into this, because now I kind of want to deworm. Because you freaking me out.
You look like somebody who has worms as well.
You look like a brain-eating worm, boy. Shut your old bitch head up.
I was actually one of the worms that Batch hatched. He sort of, one of them hatched in him, and then he spat it out.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, bro, let's make a podcast.
I was laying asleep at night, and if you guys know anything about butt worms,
What?
they come out your butt at the night, and they come up to your pillow, and they lay eggs, and then they come back down. So it was like 3 a.m. I looked to the side, and Arthur was crawling up to my pillow.
I've never been near
I was like,
Batch's
get back
butt.
in my ass, boy.
I've never been anywhere near
I was like,
Batch's
get back in my
butt.
ass, boy. And he was like, no, why don't we start a podcast? I was like, well, okay. And then we did. And he's literally a brain-eating worm just sat there right now. I think I'm getting worried about this brain-eating worm thing, because I think I've got more stupid as of late. I can't remember anything.
That's probably TikTok melting your brain.
I don't even watch TikTok. I don't watch it. I just post on it.
You don't watch TikTok much?
No.
What do you watch in your spare time?
I don't actually watch a lot that often. If I ever watch anything, it'll be like maybe an hour before beddy boos, and I'm watching a bit of YouTube, or sometimes if I can find a series. I haven't watched a series in a long time because I can't commit to a series. I don't. Yeah, we spoke about this before, but in our, like, with what we do, there's always something that we could be doing extra for our job, and I feel guilty if I'm not doing that. So most of my time spent doing other things.
Fair enough.
Than watching stuff, to be honest.
There is something you want to do with me on this podcast episode, isn't there?
Yes, I want to sit on your face.
What? No, you wanted to do my
Oh, I
horoscope.
wanted to do your horoscope. Yeah, I did want to. Should we do it right now?
Yeah, go on.
Okay,
So
cool.
what triggered this?
To be honest, I like doing segments where I can use you as like a little test subject.
Yeah, you love doing government testing on me.
And yeah, exactly.
Maybe
and
we should get a health professional to do tests on you to see how the brainworms are getting on.
we should do allergy tests. We should do
I'm not allergic to anything.
nuts,
You,
boy.
you look like you
You're
should be allergic to nuts.
Bro, you're allergic to nuts. Where you weren't complaining last night. You didn't swell up last night
What?
with these things in your mouth. Anyway,
What? Why are you being so weird in this episode?
brain
We are
worms.
not in a relationship.
Brain worms. Yet.
Oh my.
Do you remember that? Call back to his vlog. He said that. I said we're not in a relationship because he was calling me a gaslighter. And you went, yet.
You were gaslighting me, and
It's weird when I do it, but it's normal
you
when he
seem
does
to
it.
gaslight me into thinking you can only be gaslit if you're in a relationship with someone. But I was getting fully gaslit.
Gaslighter. Anyway, Bartha, what's your April?
April 5th.
Oh, I've actually written Bartha April 5th.
Just Googled Bath at April 5th.
Okay, horoscope.
Are you a horoscope enjoyer? Do you often do this?
No, never. I don't really believe in like astrological signs. However, I do kind of enjoy reading about it sometimes. We've got these big books at our house that will go to your specific birthday and tell a little bit about you. And I think what it is it feeds my ego, because mine was saying stuff like I think it said that I was going to make a lot of money, and so it fed my ego a little bit. And so then you start to think, maybe it's right. Maybe this is right. Oh, you're going to make money. You're going to be handsome. You're going to have the longest penis in the world.
You're going to.
This has got to be legit, this. Okay, you ready?
Yeah, go on.
Taurus looking ass. Right. Okay, it's talking about getting sound sleep at the moment. So,
For me?
Yeah. You're not a Taurus, though.
No, I'm Aries.
Yeah, that's why I need... What?
What website is this that you're doing this from?
Mumsnet.
Mumsnet.
It's not really. I'm just pressing the top one. No, horoscope.com.
That's the one.
It's got to be popular.
That's got to be the one.
Okay. Today, this is bad news for me because I'm going back to his to play. Maybe we'll do some cozy gaming night or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Today, you're likely focused on sex, romance, and committed relationships. I think you. I think we move our filming to Tuesday. I'm not going back to your house, boy, when you're horny as fuck. The planetary energies.
Just me. My housemate isn't even in. It would just be me and you being romantic.
Yeah, that's what I don't want.
Wow.
That's what I'm talking about. I think you're going to try and have sex with me.
Wow.
The planetary energies surrounding love are promising. If you're in a relationship, you and your partner, me and you, could make plans to embark on a new enterprise together, which is likely to succeed. Are we planning anything?
Batch and Arthur gaming nights.
Oh my God.
Maybe that could be it.
Live show. If you're involved but not committed, expect the relationship to move forward now. If you aren't with someone, who knows? By the end of the day, you might be.
What?
I've not made this up. It really sounds like because I also mentioned the comment in the beginning saying we're not getting into a romantic relationship, and now this is happening. And now I know I've got insight to his mind and I know what he wants.
I'm literally fully straight. Maybe in one of the games we play, we're going to fall in love. Like maybe a Minecraft villager will
Okay,
just go,
that's true. Yeah.
"Arr."
If a Minecraft
We'll be like,
villager flashes me for emeralds. No, flashes you.
Wait, there's a, in the most polite way ever, an elephant in the room. There's a third person in this room that it might be talking about.
Lara. What did it say?
Maybe we're going to start a new journey with Lara.
This is you. You're Aries.
Lara,
This is just you and you.
maybe
and Lara.
we're going to start a business venture together. A new enterprise.
Okay. Yeah, you're starting enterprise. You know the car van company. I think it's a franchise. So you guys are going to start one of them up. It says more, by the way.
I think we start an emerald mine. That's what I'm going for.
Good luck with that,
That's
boy.
what Elon Musk's dad did, and now look where he is.
Is that true?
His father owned shares in an emerald mine, I believe, in the Congo. It's one of the major criticisms of Musk and his rags to riches stories wasn't entirely true. He's claimed it wasn't necessarily true, that he started from nothing.
Well,
But who knows? But apparently his father owned shares in an emerald mine in the Congo, I believe.
my dad's owns WH Smith.
That's just not true.
You are down to earth, but you need to believe in something more. And you were actually indulging in some religious studies last night.
I was.
I saw you tucking into the Quran, the Bible. And was it a book, like an atheist book, the other one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a bit like Sapiens, where it was speaking about
Right.
why.
So it's showing you need to believe something more. So perhaps
Horoscopes.
something in the... No. God. He's calling you. A psychic reading can reveal your true path. We need to get a psychic on to read you.
We do.
Like a book.
Actually, someone said that the other day for us to get a psychic on. We need to get more like weird guests on that have weird special knowledge. That was something we said we wanted to do a lot of.
Oh, so psychics are weird now?
Weird as in unusual, yeah. Weird doesn't necessarily mean bad. It's just unusual. How many psychics do you know? I know none.
Fine, you got yourself out of that one. Well done.
Thanks.
I'm going to find out your friendship compatibility.
With who?
To find out who you like. Libra!
Well, that's
Best friend matches for a Libra.
And you're not a Libra.
I'm a Virgo Libra cusp.
Are you? Wait, actually. Oh, no. Why'd you high five me down there? That, for the audio listeners, that's going to sound like you why'd you high five my pants?
Yeah, no, I high fived his forearm.
He high fived my forearm.
I'll do the talking from now on. It says, just as passionate, but a bit more tempered and balanced when it comes to weighing pros and cons, a Libra can help tame Aries' wildest ideas into something doable.
Wait.
That's so true.
Lara, what are you? Libra. Lara's a Libra. Yeah.
And she's written some Greek up there as well. Oh, no.
That says, I want to eat 3 heroes.
She's just typed it out like that. 3 heroes.
People... By the way, Lara, just so you know, remember when we said 1 like equals 1 Lara in the last video? Yeah. We got so many likes.
Oh, did we? They actually boosted likes.
That's probably why the episode did
That's
so
why there's
well.
so many of them in here right now.
Guys, you don't know,
So many
behind the cameras,
producers.
there's like 10,000 Laras.
It's crazy. So maybe this is about you and Lara because I'm Virgo cusp and she is pure Libra.
Right.
And it's saying, so she's a bit more balanced when it comes to weighing pros and cons, and she can help tame your wild ideas into something doable.
I think there's a business
and
venture
that's
coming
true. While Aries are up for any sense of adventure, can push Libras to take chances. So what's going on here is when you're like, okay, we need to do this with a podcast. We need to do this with a podcast. I want to do a podcast episode from the moon, which he wanted to do this episode from the moon. Lara's like, you can't do that. We've got to do it. Why don't we just push our chairs slightly closer together? And so we did that instead.
Interesting.
You need to be grounded.
Yeah, that's true. By the way, Italian Snatch on Patreon, because we read all the comments on the Patreon posts.
They get such a shout out at all
Italian
times.
Snatch, yeah, they've kind of cooked with just stealing my favourite nickname for you. But they called, what did they call Lara? Leora.
Were they joking about it?
Yeah, because we said...
Yeah.
We said that someone called her Lauren and stuff, and we were like, just call her everything other than Lara.
Yeah, and we're suggesting for a Patreon exclusive, she actually changed her name to Leora.
Yeah, legally.
Because it's better anyway.
Middle name Italian Snatch.
That's her middle name. To make friends with you, this is what people have to do. So if you see Arthur, remember this. You got to be direct. A sincere compliment will go far with an Aries and will set the tone to be honest. No bullshit connection for years to come. That's true because he's very egotistical.
Give me one compliment then. And make it genuine.
This is really hard. Come back to me.
Do you know how cruel that is? 11 episodes in and he can't compliment me. Why is this hurting you so much?
I'll come back to that. I
can't believe this.
But it proves it wrong because I never compliment you, and yet we're the best friends that ever have existed.
Come on, stop high-fiving me down there.
Okay, he's ripped. That's my compliment. And
Fair enough.
I've said that before, and that is fair enough.
Thanks.
Do you think that's accurate though? If someone does give you a sincere compliment, does it go a long way with you or not?
I actually don't like compliments because I don't quite know how to deal with them.
Yeah.
Like, I'm obviously not completely abnormal. Like, I can just, say, oh, thank you, that's very kind of you. But, like, my mind just races and goes, should I accept this? Because if I accept it, I'm going, yes, I am.
Yeah,
thank you, Isaac, I agree. Or should I be complimenting them back? And my brain just does too many things in a row. I'd rather... reading one's nice. If you read a comment, because then I'm like, there's no social pressure to instantly reply. Someone goes, hey, Batch and Arthur, I'm mildly enjoying this. I'm roughly enjoying this podcast.
Which you got them all to say on
Which
a different
everyone
episode.
kept saying, which I loved, by the way. I thought it was really wholesome.
Oh my
We
God.
still get comments like, I'm roughly enjoying this podcast. I love it.
So this is accurate then, because you were actively looking for a compliment there. And
True.
you got it and you feel good about it.
Yeah, that was more reassurance than a compliment because I was just like, I don't know, a slight bit of self-doubt as to whether we should keep doing this podcast.
Well, we could just cut your mic
Because
off.
it's so unorthodox. Like I listen to other podcasts and I'm like, so many of them have structures and worked in segments and stuff,
Yeah.
and we just come on and waffle.
Yeah.
Like we have about 6 things written down there, pretty sure, and we just go on tangents.
This is written on a train. The benefit though, I think we are...
No, I think about it over the week, but
Yeah, same. We are exceptional wafflers though.
someone commented that. Did you see?
Yeah. I get that on my own personal videos as well.
Yeah, they were like 2 natural-born wafflers.
I do think it's a skill though, to be able to just keep speaking without there being any silences.
Yeah. It'd be nice if you kept doing that, but like the things you said were interesting or
I
funny
knew
as
that,
well.
yeah. Okay. You can tell when he's about to be mean. I can tell now, because in the beginning, obviously, it would be like, whoa, I thought that was going to be nice. Now I just know. I just know when you're setting up to be...
Really? Because my
I could
tone
just
changes.
tell. Yeah, I could just tell. Oh, someone clip that and edit that right now.
That's so cute. This is so cute. We're discovering each other's bodies. What? What? Body language. The fact that you could tell,
God.
because I could tell you could tell because I went, it'd be nice, and you just went, oh. And
Yeah, I was knew
your
straight
shoulders slumped.
I just knew
you
straight
looked
away.
away.
I could
You
just tell you're about to
frowned.
be a dick.
Yeah.
Tell how much he does that then, can't you? All the time.
No, but our sense of humor is being really,
elite.
really being, that's so cringe. Our sense of humor is being really dry and mean to each other.
Yeah. Whoa. Boy, I'm wet all the time. What are you talking about?
Oh,
The shit ain't dry.
that is
Don't insult me like that.
That is disgusting.
Yeah, that's true. But you said yesterday, I don't know if you were being serious. You said I was one of the meanest people you know. You mean that? Because I'm actually quite nice.
In terms of the things you say, if someone read a script of all the things that anyone would say to me, you often, I mean, you start this podcast by saying that you wish you could squish me like a bug. And then it would be so easy. You always say little things.
Self-realization now, actually.
So you do a lot. I'll say a really funny, hilarious joke. And you're like, God, I hate you so much.
That's
I want
quite
to kill you.
true.
And I'm like, damn, God damn. Someone read this in like the wrong tone.
That's true.
People will be like, this guy is so mean
But they
to
don't
him.
see the turmoil he puts me through off camera.
I give you nothing but joy.
Most of the time, Lara will back me up on this. When he's on his phone, he can't take any input from the outside world. If you speak to him, you get no response.
Yeah, I zone in, so what?
Or he'll go, shut up. Isn't that right?
Which you deserve. You need a knocking down a peg when you're in your
He'll
yapping
say at
sessions. And
least 3 times
when
a
I'm,
meet up.
I'm in my low energy, low social battery, not wanting to speak much, and you're just yapping in my ear
He'll
with
just go,
dry humor.
Shut
up.
Did you say I was trying to get him a drink
Freaking
downstairs?
heck,
I got
shut
no.
up.
You didn't say it there, did you? I said I'm gonna get a coffee. Do you want?
Oh,
a tea?
my headphones were in. So
You
I
had your
don't know.
headphones in, and you said, "Shut up! I wish you were never born.
Never said that.
You're pathetic."
Never said that.
But that's how it feels, guys.
Yeah.
That's how it feels. Now, 3 reasons why Aries make great friends.
Oh,
Or list cancelled. List cancelled. Turns out they don't.
I'm literally your best friend.
Fine. You're not.
I am.
You're 17th at the moment. we should have list a board leaderboard behind each of us of our best friends and change it every episode.
Am I in my all-time high currently? Like, have I ever been higher than 17th?
You're consistently higher each day
Yes.
that I see you. But actually, no, you're going down one today, I think.
What?
You're going to 18th. Because my nana said something nice earlier, so she's gone up.
You can't have friends and family. Oh, obviously you can have friends. You can't have family, I feel.
That was a joke. Anyway, number 1, Aries naturally have a wide open view of the world. You got a wide open something.
Oh my goodness.
They view each other
That Drake bar. Kane just opened his mouth.
I'm up on my in it. That's such a good song. They view each moment and relationship as a new opportunity to express themselves and gather more life experience because they always want it to be about them. And how do they benefit from a situation? It's never about me. Now, they legendarily... No, Aries...
Make this the last thing. I'm getting so bored of this.
I can't read. Aries' legendary spontaneity, that's not how that's spelled, means that you'll never know what's around the corner when in their company.
That's so true with me. That vlog couldn't have been weirder.
That is true. He'll come out with some outrageous things. Really outrageous and unacceptable.
What? I've never said anything offensive.
That's not true.
To anyone.
To me, you have. One of Aries' mottos is, never miss out. And when you're by their side, neither will you.
Fair enough.
You never say that.
I wonder what KSI's horoscope says today. Anyway, let's get on with submissions.
Boom, he's in the thumbnail.
So the reason I say that is because last time we were speaking about the
so
Sidemen
good.
Sunday. And so we were like, oh, how do we put Sidemen things in the thumbnail? Let's put Harry. And all of a sudden, it is our best performing video podcast episode of all time. It literally has double the Chris MD views after like a day.
That's clickbait for you.
And we didn't realise, because we always put our guest in the title and the subject in the middle. But to be fair, we put the guest in the middle. And because we spoke about Simon Sunday, so this time I was like, let's work KSI in to just some point.
And so now we have it. Now he's in the middle of
So
the
now I have it.
thumbnail.
And so if you've clicked on it, hoping for KSI to pop out,
They're not still here to see this.
they're
like-
waiting for KSI
They're
to
like
come.
2 seconds in, they're like, what the fuck?
No,
KSI
someone
not in there.
commented like, I'm 15 minutes into this episode and I'm starting to worry that Harry's never going to come.
You've just got to skip through, guys.
Yeah, you got to do the scanning thing.
Just skip through.
But there you go. If you're wondering why KSI's in the thumbnail, maybe he's not. Maybe it's too shameless. We'll have to
I
think.
feel like that is too
But if he is
shameless.
and you've clicked on it, now you know why.
Mate-
But stick around because we've got one more little
Should we put
segment.
KSI lookalike in it and then we could get away with that.
We've got submissions.
Submishies.
They haven't seen Lara. I think Lara and KSI have a similar sort of. They've got something about them that looks similar.
That's true. We just put KSI in the thumbnail and be like, no, that's Lara.
Yeah.
Nope.
Unlucky. Anyway, on to the final part. We have some submissions.
You already said that.
Yeah, because you keep going back to the previous stuff.
You did.
Anyway,
guys,
on to the
please,
final.
he's gaslighting me.
Anyway, on to the final segment.
Brain eating worms. Also, when I was doing the watch through of the previous episode, the one with Harry in the thumbnail, at the end of the video, Arthur goes, right, we'll end it there because Batch just yawned. And I went, did I? I don't think I did.
Did you?
I didn't yawn. And he went, yes, you did.
I
You're a
swear you
gaslighter.
Did I gaslight you on camera?
You gaslit me.
Maybe I am a bad
You
person.
went, you just yawned. No, I didn't. Yes, you did. I didn't yawn. This shit's on camera, boy. Don't lie. I've got that.
Anyway,
I got my receipts.
Anyway, on to the final segment, submissions.
Where'd you get that? Anyway, on to the final segment, submissions. This one comes from Bethany.
Ooh, Bethany.
What's that all about?
Just a cool name.
What's it long for?
Bethaniel.
So Bethaniel said, she's got a couple of questions. Do you believe there are aliens roaming the planet? What do you think, Arthur?
Back to episode 1 where I said I thought Batch could be an undercover alien.
True, full circle.
No, I don't. I don't. I think it's unlikely. I think when I do see some of the UFO footage, I'm like, that is just hovering over a city. They could easily be among us.
Sussy Barker.
Yeah.
Arthur just vented.
I think unlikely, but possible, maybe. There's obviously, we were speaking slightly about abiogenesis in the last episode and the Miller-Urey experiment and how you can sort of get methane and water and sort of, electrocute them and zap them in sort of early Earth environment conditions, and you get amino acids, which are the fundamental building blocks of life. They've found amino acids on meteorites.
Yeah.
So some people do think that the early life form, the earliest form of it actually arrived on a meteorite. So
Panspermia, that would be.
in some people's views, we are alien to this planet.
However, we can debunk panspermia.
How?
Because the amino acids on that meteorite don't suggest that that could make our sort of life. There are some amino acids missing that you would need for our sort of life.
Yeah, but obviously...
I remember studying it.
Yeah.
And actually, but weren't they... I think they were the right right-handed though, or left-handed?
Oh, isomers.
Yeah, I think they were right for our life, which is rare.
Interesting.
I think. I
But
can't
that's just some
completely
ones that
remember
we
that.
found. Like we don't know
Yeah.
what amino acids were on the
Yeah.
meteorites that crashed a long time
But
ago.
I personally, I don't think there's aliens roaming around on the planet. And I don't think I believe panspermia either.
No, I do think.
I think there were black events. That's what they were.
Yeah, I do think just how easy it kind of is to go from these simple molecules to sort of amino acids does make me think that it probably maybe even happened several times on Earth.
Yeah. And the thing is, who knows?
Yeah. I think
don't know
that's
what I
one
was
of the
gonna say
tough thing with the early life research. It's so interesting. And we may very well get to one day where we go, this is exactly a process of how you can go from carbon and hydrogen and
Yeah.
oxygen and stuff all the way to a living organism.
Yeah.
But there's probably going to be several different pathways. And it may very well be that we never can know which exact one. I think that's one of the perhaps stumbling blocks that people get over is that they go, oh, even if we can find a pathway. And like I said, there's a lot of pathways that have been discovered. Like
Yeah.
you can go from single to self-replicating to branch chains to polymerized molecules and stuff. You really can. If you go look into it, it's absolutely fascinating how you genuinely can go from simple molecules to basically life.
Well, we did it with sea monkeys when we were kids.
I don't think we built that from methane and water.
If you wanted methane, you got it right here, boy. Put in a fart. Sound
Disgusting.
effect, please.
Anyway,
on that actually,
So we might be aliens, but if not us, then I think probably not. But how about you?
I'm not an alien.
But do you think that aliens might be? That's something an alien would say.
Are you saying, do you think aliens are walking among us in the sense that we are not originally from this planet, or there are aliens walking with us?
That's the difficult thing, because alien isn't necessarily an easily defined term.
I don't think aliens are on this planet. I think we were made on Earth, and I don't think any alien has made it to Earth. There's a lot of reasons why. I won't go into depth because it's we've spoken about it before. There's a lot of theories and stuff that explain why it's unlikely.
We need to have a proper alien episode, and Chip keeps messaging us. Chip, by the way,
God, he really wants to make this a trio. Don't tell
he
Cal
really
Freezy.
wants to make this a trio.
He says it in front of Cal Freezy.
He always,
It's a bit though.
I think, because Freezy's sick of him.
Yeah,
Freezy would let him
Freezy's
go
sick of
like
him.
a dog. He'd be like, please adopt him.
Yeah, and he's
Like my
Chip's
parents
made a
tried to do
group
with our
chat.
neighbours, with me. Please take him. I don't want him anymore.
No, nobody want you, boy. Not even me.
And he made a group chat with us on Insta
Yeah.
and keeps calling us like the three amigos and wants to join us.
Yeah, and then he's like, oh, just checking in. Thursday, kiss. And then a picture of him in front of a mic.
But I do actually love that boy. Like, Chip is one of my
very
closest
funny.
friends. I actually genuinely have so much love for him. He's a brother to me.
He's a great guy.
And we definitely need to get him on the podcast because he is really knowledgeable about aliens and physics, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
so-
everything in general.
No, definitely not.
He's people don't realize how smart Chip actually
Yeah,
is.
Chip he's a smart guy.
Think he's a businessman as well.
Yeah.
He's a hustler, baby.
Yeah.
I was going to say something really interesting knowing me, but I can't remember what it was.
So you think probably no aliens among us?
Yeah, exactly.
Fair.
But I was going to say a lot of people, when it comes to like talking about going from like just molecules, nothing to do with life, to eventually having life, people are like, it's too perfect. Everything had to be perfect for it to happen. It can't have been chemistry or anything like that. It had to be something else. We have to be aliens, or aliens had to have put us here, or whatever conspiracy theory they want. Of course it would be perfect. Otherwise we wouldn't be reflecting on it. Isn't that right?
Philosophy, yeah.
If it wasn't perfect, we wouldn't exist to even say, oh, it had to be perfect.
And
Food
how
for
many
thought.
planets are there where it isn't perfect and there is no life to reflect on it?
Exactly. Possibly
Interesting one.
infinite amounts.
Yeah, maybe.
Possibly. It's a nice little just thought for you guys, really.
Yeah.
The next question Nathaniel had was
Nathaniel.
or oh no, I said that already. Or maybe we are aliens. And yeah, I don't think so. You don't think so?
Yeah, I think we dig more into that one in the alien episode because that is interesting.
Yeah, and she also said, "Love you guys."
Oh,
Thank you, Nathaniel.
Thank you.
And I believe she's on Patreon.
Oh,
unless she's swindling us.
lots of love all the way back from Batch and Arthur.
Lots of love from this place. Yeah, see?
Which I wasn't going to say if you weren't a Patreon fan. I'm joking.
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
Okay, now another, it's not similar, but I feel like it's like kind of similar. Leah asks, do you believe in spiritual signs? Not like astrology, but like spirit animals, etc. Because recently I've been going on evening walks, and every time I'm feeling down, the second I have the same self-doubting thought, a swarm of green parakeets have flown over me. And it hasn't just happened once, it's happened on about 10 occasions. As well as foxes every time I leave the house for the past few months. I keep having really close encounters with foxes, and they always come really close to me. Only ever happens when I'm on my own on a walk, and I go out in nature with others quite often. I also have a 777 tattoo, and ever since I got it, I constantly see it everywhere. I was just curious to hear your guys' perspective on things like this, and if anything similar has ever happened to you, like seeing something so often that it seems uncoincidental. Maybe seeing the same number or hearing the same word also. Do you think it's just our minds believing these things have meaning, or do you think you see things for a reason?
I think it is. As a natural skeptic, your mind does jump to confirmation bias. Like, how many times would you see the number 8 and the number 9 and the number 2 and the number 3, and then you see the 7 and you're like, oh, it's another 7. And you kind of, you as a human have a natural tendency to ignore everything that's insignificant and really remember all the things that are significant. And you know, maybe foxes are intimidated by groups of people, but when you're alone, they feel less intimidated, and they're aware that maybe they've had a lot of experiences where people have gone out by themselves and they've given them food because they're like, oh, I'm just going out by myself, I'll feed the foxes, rather than going out with friends. And they go, oh, when people are alone, they're more likely to give me food so I can approach them and stuff. And I think there are a lot of reasons. I think, I think the main thing to do would be try and conduct a scientific experiment. I think one of the coolest things humans have ever discovered or created is the scientific method. And if you genuinely think that there's something more going on there, go out and test it. Sort of see if you can, pick up a book on probabilities and statistics, learn the scientific method, come up with a way of testing it and go, if I change this one variable, does the outcome differ? Does it differ in a statistically significant way? Is it something I can observe and repeat? And is it something I wouldn't expect? And maybe go out and just go, record a walk and you go, how many times do these parakeets fly over my head in this 1 hour period or 2 hour period? The longer, the better. The more values you can get, the better your statistics will be. And then go, and tomorrow I'm going to do the exact same walk, but 20 minutes in and then 40 minutes in, I'm going to have this thought, and then see if you can gauge the statistical probability of parakeets flying over your head just at those exact times on both those occasions. And you'll come up with a p-value that is going to be statistically significant if it is. And then you can go, maybe there's something to it. And same with when you see numbers, go, every time I see a number, I'm going to write it down and see if 7 actually does come up more often. Or you just go, actually, I've seen the number 8 and seen the number 1. I would have forgotten about it. But because I'm now doing a scientific inquiry, I've now realized that I've seen all the numbers roughly the same amount of times. Or you might just go, wow, 777 has come up and I haven't seen 1 888 or 999 or 555, and I've seen 7 of these in a row, which is statistically significant. So that's really cool, and that's now something I can go, it's not just a feeling, here's some evidence, and show people. And that's when you can really get people to go, wow, there really is something to this.
She ain't doing all that.
Were you waiting the whole time to say that? Were you waiting?
Shut up.
Wow, that is so...
Revenge!
I just went on the nerdiest little scientific rant. But that is why I love science so much, because, you don't have to just go, it's a feeling, and people go, I don't believe you. You can go, I've done the experiment. Here is my method. I've written out my method. Here are my results. Here's my analysis. Here's my conclusion. And, it's so much more persuasive.
Yeah. No, it's true. That is it. I think it's definitely bias. It's definitely bias. I mean... Once you get in your head that you've seen 777, you'll be looking for it all the time.
Might be biased. I don't think you can say definitely. You don't know.
Oh, no, it's most likely biased, though.
I think that's a valid thing to say, but I just don't think you should say definitely. I think if she thinks that it's possible,
but what matters is the meaning that you take from it anyway, And if you see 777 and it puts you in a better headspace, or you're reminded of something good, or you see parakeets going over your head, it reminds you, be happy or whatever, That's a really great thing.
That's true. Yeah.
And so it's a good thing for your brain to focus on.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, even if you
checks you.
can't necessarily prove it in a scientific way,
Yeah.
if it gives you meaning and makes you happier and stuff, then, you know, I think I have a lot of belief in belief.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Same here. And I actually have a similar thing to the whole like parakeet thing. One day, right, and I hadn't seen a collared dove. I felt like I had never seen a collared dove in England before in my life. And then one day I looked out my window when I was thinking, am I doing something wrong with like making videos and stuff? I wasn't getting anywhere really. I was in like a bit of a rut. And I saw like this collared dove sat on my kitchen roof, which is kind of lower, so I could see it there. I was like, damn, what is that? And then I searched it up. The meanings, you can take multiple meanings from it. One is death is coming. Another one,
Fingers crossed.
Another one, it was like hope or you're on the right track or something.
Oh.
I chose to interpret it as though on the right track, keep doing what you're doing. And then ever since then, every time I'm on my way to do something or I'm thinking to myself, I'm out on a walk and I'm like, am I doing the right thing right now or should I be doing this? Am I going down the right path? I'll see a collared dove and I'm like, yeah, I'm on the right track. But it's because I've told myself, like I've chosen to interpret it in that way. And now that when I see a collared dove, it's because I know what it is now. I'm looking for it. And so I see it more often, even though I probably see a pigeon way more in situations like that. I don't think anything of a pigeon. But I'll still do it. Every time I see a collared dove, even though I know in my head that I've made this bias up, I'll still think, oh yeah, all right, I'm on the right track.
Interesting.
Because it's a nice belief to have, you know, and it fills you with a sense of confidence that you've created for yourself.
Yeah.
You know, it makes me think, okay, I'm on the right track. And then it gives you a little boost. You're like, I'm on the right track. I'll keep doing what I'm doing. I might even ramp it up a little bit because I just saw a collared dove.
Yeah.
And
So I think we're probably similar in that we both believe in belief.
Yeah.
In terms of we believe that there are benefits to believing it regardless of whether or not it's true.
Yeah. I mean, even little things like you probably have a lucky number. Do you?
No.
I'm done with this podcast. But like my lucky number is 8. So in any situation where you pick a number, I'll pick 8. And in my head, it makes me think like that would perform better for me.
That's so interesting. Even though you are a...
Yeah. And
someone...
I'm like a skeptic of all
Yeah.
like belief like that. But it's because...
So why? Analyze your own belief now.
I'm
so you believe
aware
8 is a lucky number?
for me, but I'm aware that it's not.
Yeah.
It was from a situation, I think I was like maybe 6 years old. I was coming out of school. My mum asked me like a maths question, but I wasn't listening. I just said 8 and it was right.
Mm-hmm.
And so ever since then, I was like, okay, that's my lucky number. So something happens in your life. You're like, you grow an attachment to something.
But does a part of you believe that there is something more to it that...
No,
you know,
because
if you're playing roulette and you put money on the lucky number 8, do you think you have a more a statistically greater chance of winning than anything else?
No, because I'm aware that I don't. But me putting on 8 or 25 both have the same statistical chance. So I'm going to put it on 8 because in the off chance there is some power behind that number for me, why not take it?
Interesting.
Because you're never going to get the true answer. I mean, who knows? There could be some creature controlling the whole universe we don't know about, and everyone has a lucky number.
That's true.
Mine is 8. I don't believe that, but you don't know. And so I'm going to choose 8 every time. It's just a belief system that you build up for yourself. Like I believe 8 will be my lucky number, even though I'm very aware it's not, and it's got no significance to me. I'm still going to pick it over everything else because that's my belief now. It aligns with me, you know? It becomes part of me. And that's why for the charity match, I chose number 88 to go on my back.
Oh.
And in my head, because I've got 88 on my back, I'm going to do better. And so you will do better because everything is, if you
a bit of a placebo effect.
If you convince yourself something is giving you extra power or...
That's almost a self-fulfilling prophecy. That's quite interesting.
It helps you.
Yeah.
Same with the collared dove thing. If I tell myself that when I see that I'm doing good, it boosts me forwards. So I know it's a good thing to do.
There you go.
Even though in the back of my mind, I know I'm skeptical. I'm a skeptic.
Was that the final submission?
No.
Oh, how many more have we got?
One more from
Nice.
Alexandra. Now, Alexandra makes lists. Okay, I'll read out the whole thing. Hello, Arthur and Batch. moved our
Hello.
names around. I hope you have a great podcast filming session.
Oh,
Or
thank you
having
very
one.
much.
We
It's
are,
been
actually.
very enjoyable so far. Hope you're enjoying listening to it.
So basically, I really like making random rankings and putting them in my notes. And recently I made this one bad boy that you're about to read. And I thought that sending it to you would be the greatest choice, as you like to yap about basically everything.
Yeah, okay.
That's disrespectful. So I present to you top 5 not so typical fears. In brackets, I'd love to hear your opinion about each of them. P.S. Sorry in advance if anyone will develop new fears because of this ranking. Don't worry, because Arthur's just made everyone think they've got brainworms, so he's way worse. Number 1, coming in at number 1 is carbon monoxide poisoning.
Oh, that terrifies me.
Same here. That's why I bought myself a carbon monoxide detector.
There are,
Just do
so
that.
for people who don't know, do you want to explain this one?
Carbon monoxide is a clear gas that you can't smell. And a lot of appliances at home can make it because it's just carbon dioxide, but what is it? So obviously it's not di, it's mono.
Yeah.
So it's just singular.
It's just CO
And so
rather than CO2.
it can be made quite easily in the house, just like even through ovens and stuff like that. And if you breathe it in, you will die because you get suffocated essentially, don't you?
Yeah, it binds to your hemoglobin like oxygen, and
Yeah.
so you're basically your blood doesn't have room to take on more oxygen.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just, yeah, you end up not having oxygen going around your blood, and your brain eventually passes out and dies.
Yeah, and you'll never know because you can't smell it. It doesn't have a smell, and it can be made in the home. So
it's mainly from burners. So if you have like a gas stove
yeah,
or like a little, especially portable gas heaters and fires, the main place it happens to people is in tents because
Yeah,
there's not great,
camping.
camping. There's not great circulation of air. So they sort of, will cook something or put a little heater on that'll be burning this flame, and it'll be turning the oxygen into carbon monoxide, a lot of carbon dioxide as well, carbon monoxide, and it builds up. And then, you fall asleep and you never wake up. And there's sort of a couple of times a year, I would say, in the UK, there's a news story being like, tragic event as family, father and 2 daughters and mother pass out from carbon monoxide poisoning in the tent and never wake up. And
Yeah,
that's a real, because you won't know it's happening
yeah, you wouldn't.
because you can't smell it, you can't feel it, you just start feeling sleepy or drowsy, I would assume.
Yeah.
And you're not like, oh, I need to get oxygen. Like you're not
It
really
would probably
reacting
just be like a loss
that.
of consciousness, and then you're gone.
Yeah.
But carbon monoxide detectors are cheap. I think mine was like £10. It gives you a bit of peace of mind. Chuck that in your house. They're pretty good. So that would put your mind at ease, I feel. But you can, I think, well, she's actually written carbon monoxide poisoning in specifics, because you can, if you don't inhale too much of it, you will just get carbon monoxide poisoning. And there's like, I think the side effects are like vomiting and stuff like that. And you probably feel ill for a couple of weeks, but you will recover. I think that's specifically her fear rather than carbon monoxide killing us.
Yeah. Well, because it's starving your brain and heart of oxygen, it's the same essentially as drowning or suffocating. So in the same way you can survive drowning,
Yeah.
you can survive that, but without oxygen, parts of your heart and brain can die.
Yeah.
So you can lose function in pretty much anything that your brain or heart does.
Yeah.
Yeah, really scary actually.
It is scary.
But it's one that once you know, you're almost never going to succumb to it, because you're like, I'm never going to light a fire
Yeah.
in a closed environment.
closed
So
environment,
you
yeah.
should be fine.
Yeah. And you'll get yourself a detector if you're in a closed environment.
Yeah. At home, definitely have a carbon monoxide detector. There's definitely no harm in having
I got one because we were in our garage. We were having our like boilers sorted or something. I can't remember what it was. Oh no, our gas was leaking or something like that. I can't remember. And I was like, we should get a carbon monoxide detector because we didn't have one, and I didn't want to get poisoned. And my bedroom is right above where the leak was. The next one is poking myself / someone poking me with infected needles, and I don't notice.
Oh, this is a big thing in clubs.
Yeah, especially where I'm from. There's a club, I won't say any in particular, but it's a terrible club to go to for like people injecting you with those drugs spiking you in that way.
That's terrifying.
So
There was a little
disgusting.
era of it where it really ramped up in the UK, and it was all over Twitter about a year ago. And women were just going clubbing and waking up the next day with sort of the needle bruises and little marks and just being like, I've been injected by something. And
You just got to be really careful of your environment. Just
but I think it's impossible. What could you possibly
I mean,
do?
yeah, it's
if you're
one of those
if you're
things,
in a
yeah.
club and you're just dancing and you're a bit drunk, like what are you going to do? Stand yards away from anyone else? Like, that's not how it works. There
It is
really is no
true.
way, which is why it's, I mean, I think obviously we need to,
I'm personally quite hyper aware to things like that, though. Always looking for threats. I guess I'm a prey animal. Clearly, I'm not a predator. I'm always scanning the environment.
yeah, I think you become more hyper aware when you're on social media because you're just
Yeah, that's true.
aware
as well.
that people are more aware of you.
Yeah, it's good to have someone like that in the friendship group who can keep an eye out for everyone. Don't worry, I got your back.
Nice.
I was keeping an eye on you when we were outside the building. We weren't outside the building.
Good.
We will be, though. And I'll
But
keep an
yeah.
eye on you.
I think if you ever suspect that something's happened, telling someone straight away is,
Yeah.
because you always hear the stories of people going like, oh, I felt a bit dizzy, so I went and sat by myself at the bar for a minute and then woke up in a stranger's house or something. Or, you know, if you suspect anything's happened, tell the barman straight away and get them to call the authorities because
I'm
they'll
going to
be there
say
to
it.
protect you.
If someone does that to someone, death row.
But even yeah, at least twice, and 5 generations of their family maybe.
Well,
But even the bar staff, you know, maybe a bar staff could do it. We were in
that's true. You can't even trust people who are working at a place just because
Yeah.
they work there.
a bar staff a pub the other day, a club, and one of the bar staff was just being a bit too weird
Really?
to some of the guys, and we were like, well, we're leaving and it's his fault. Fix up your weird guy.
Did you say? Yeah.
Yeah, we did. But we
Good man.
knew one of the other guys working there a lot better.
Cool.
And so we just went up to him and was like, that dude, we've never seen him before, but he's so weird to the girls. Like,
That's a good thing to do.
and then we just left.
A lot of people would just be a bystander.
Hopefully they had a word.
So that's good.
Yeah.
Pointing it out. Yeah, that is worrying. I also got my sister told me about apparently what people do is in like public toilets, like in Tesco and stuff, they'll use in between the layers of the toilet roll, they'll dab off their dirty needles because it's easy to put it in and pull it out and it's clean. And so then you wipe your bumper clot with it and you would get infected with whatever they have if they
Bumper
have
clot
something.
actually
So that's
means
worrying.
is a cloth that you use to wipe your bum, you know.
I know.
So you wipe your bum cloth with the bum cloth, basically.
Yeah.
Nice.
My bum is a bum cloth, boy. I got to stop saying boy all the time. Boy. Anyway, that's one of my fears. Number 3, eating something I don't know I'm deathly allergic to. You must have that a lot when you're eating nuts because you look in the mirror in the morning, you think,
I hate this. Is so unfunny.
and you think I shouldn't have nuts today just in case.
When you made that joke, Lara gagged, by the way, because you done it too.
She didn't. She giggled. and
No, that
farted.
was a gag.
It was a fart.
That is so weird.
Oh, should we get Lara? Can we tell him a story of what happened to your ankle?
People love the Lara stories.
We have to be buzzed into this place because his fob was sticky, so we got rid of it. And
They gave it to me sticky. They gave me a fob and it was already sticky.
okay,
So
that
I said no.
shit was bone dry when he got it. By the way, so Lara comes to let us in, and then she's like, "Oh, can we use the lift because I've sprained my ankle?" Because she got out of the bus and just collapsed and her ankle rolled. She fell fully on the floor, apparently, just on the floor.
and just went,
Imagine.
She did
Didn't
the
say
Wilhelm
that.
scream.
Can you hear that?
Pigeons.
Collared dove.
Wow.
I hope they can't pick that up on these mics. There's a collared dove right outside. I'm telling you.
Is it
right
definitely
now.
collared dove, not a pigeon?
Yep. Because I want to
Interesting.
believe that.
Right.
See what I'm saying?
Confirmation bias. Anyway,
What
that's
were you
scary,
saying?
yes, because I don't really carry an EpiPen. I wouldn't know what to do. But I feel like you've got enough time.
And the comment that said, Laura brought to our attention, there's a comment that says, you look like you carry an EpiPen in a bum bag or a fanny pack.
Yeah, in a fanny pack. I do not carry an EpiPen because I'm not allergic to anything.
Yeah, but you must especially think because of the way you look like you should be allergic to nuts.
Move on to the next thing.
You must think all the time, anytime you eat a nut-based product, ooh, this is actually a risk. Whereas for me, because I'm a Chad, I'm not
You are
bothered.
not a child. You are literally a beta male. We've already been
Whatever.
through this. You got government
Anyway.
tested and you were 90% beta.
It is a worrying thought though, because you can become allergic to nuts overnight, which is crazy.
Really? Can you?
Yeah, yeah,
I
genuinely.
don't know what the first noise was.
That explains what happened to me. Yes,
Why are you giving me that weird accent?
that's what you sound like. My name is Arthur. Anyway,
You're bordering on-
no, but
bordering
it's
on
true.
getting cancelled
Can
there,
we
man.
can we look that up just in case I'm giving off false information? Can you develop a nut allergy overnight?
Oh yeah, shout out everyone who did the 1 like equals 1 Lara, because now we've got a screen where she can Google things and we can find out.
Yeah, our budget went up. Can you give us a
Food
straight
allergies. The truth is,
answer?
food allergies start and they can develop at any stage of life.
Yeah, and so it won't develop over time. It will just happen, I think.
Fascinating.
Or maybe not. Maybe it happens over a week. So I think it's happening to people around me, actually. Like, my sister can't eat certain fruits now.
My sister developed one to chocolate. How sad is that?
Actually.
Yeah.
Pour one out for
But
her right
light, so she does eat it sometimes and just goes, I'm going to deal with the tingles and the rashes and stuff.
now. Damn.
Yeah.
Well, I would.
Did you just look at me and say, I would? And then, was that completely unrelated? But
I would eat white chocolate.
I would. And that's it.
No, I was gonna say something about me, but then I thought I should stop talking about myself.
You do go on. It gets a bit
Fine, I'll
tiresome.
say it. I developed asthma over one summer, just out of nowhere.
That is so embarrassing.
And then it disappeared. Sort of disappeared now. Every now and then I'll have a little attack. Just
Well-
humbles me a bit.
One of my friends got lactose intolerance from a stomach bug. So they got a really bad stomach bug, were really ill for a week or two.
I've heard about that happening.
And all of their gut bacteria that has the lactase enzyme, which breaks down the lactose sugar, must have died off.
Can you not just put that back in?
And so they had it for months. And I said, go and eat because you can buy tablets essentially with some bacteria, and some of it does survive the stomach acid. I was like, do that and eat some yogurt and stuff, and hopefully,
Did it come back?
and the lactose intolerance went away.
Get your prebiotics, probiotics.
That's why
in your
biology is so
system.
fun, guys, because
Oh, drink kefir.
kefir.
So good for you guys. So good for you. I'd hate to be
Kefir.
lactose intolerant. I eat so much cheese, milk. I drink a lot of milk, actually. I drink a lot of milk. Anyway, the next one is rabies. This actually freaked me out a lot recently because I saw a TikTok and I didn't realize unless you have the rabies jab, it's I was going to swear, you're dead.
Even if you have the rabies jab, you're dead.
It's that bad.
There's no surviving it. Once it,
And it's like a case of you become water-phobic, hydrophobic. You can't swallow water anymore as well.
yeah,
And so
rabies goes into your nervous system.
rabies for humans
is
is
dormant
really
for like
bad.
a month or two, and the second you start having symptoms, it's too late. I think
Do you have any rabies stories?
something like only 2 people have survived rabies in the UK.
But I'm very delusional in the fact that I think I would be number 3 if I got rabies. I think I just wouldn't kill me, I don't think.
It's just a really, really horrible, and it's so easy to get because. So I had that. Do you know my rabies story?
Yes, I do.
Briefly,
But tell them.
Yeah, I was in Sri Lanka.
He's got it.
And I had a wound on my leg. We were racing tuk-tuks around the country with Chip and George Clarkey and Arthur Hill. Great dual video. Go check it out.
Yeah, I was there. You just couldn't see me on. I was doing other things.
No, I wrote to Chip and said, please don't invite back. She's annoying me today.
I was on the camera because this was before I was in front of the camera. I was behind the camera.
And we went to stay in this nice little hotel.
It was
And
amazing.
they had some dogs. And although it was quite a fancy hotel, the dogs were out on the streets. They could run around. And one of the dogs, one of the cute little pups, licked me on the open wound. And I was playing with it and I went, I just realised that there's a chance that dog could have rabies. And if it does, that is the way to get it. It's in saliva. It would be in my blood. And I was like, if that dog had rabies and it's licked me, and I don't do anything, I almost certainly die. And so with rabies, you can have the vaccine in advance. You can get two shots of it. Obviously, no vaccine is 100% effective. Rabies definitely not particularly effective. And all that does is rather than giving you 24 hours to go to the hospital, you've got 48 to 72. So we chilled for the night, drank some beers at the hotel. And then in the morning before we set off, me and Chip went to the hospital and they essentially give you another rabies jab. And they give you sort of immunoglobulin shots to the site. and it was really painful. Really, like, had a lot of vaccines, well, a lot of jabs into me, but yeah, I was fine. And a month later, 2 months later, I was like, whew, I'm still alive. But
Thank God.
Go watch a YouTube video of someone with rabies, because
Don't.
it will make you go, I never want to risk it.
I actually recommend not doing it because it creeps you out.
And it's such a shame because I'm such an animal lover. Like when I see animals in the wild, I want to go up and pet them and spend time with them and feed them and interact with them. But when you're just in any parts of the country, any parts of any country really across the world, you just don't know. And all it takes is one little lash out and all of a sudden you've got blood disease.
Yeah, I'm always thinking about that stuff.
It's just such a shame because I see a monkey and I want to pet it. I see a dog and I want to pet it. But
did you not get the rabies vaccine before you went then?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, because...
So that was why I had 72 hours. Yeah, but even if you have the rabies vaccine, all it does is slows down the spread. Yeah. So it gives you enough time to go get it. But just because you had the rabies vaccine doesn't mean you can't get rabies. You still absolutely can. It just slows it down.
Well,
there's actually nothing that you can get vaccinated for that gives you 100% immunity to it.
Yeah. Do you want to explain how vaccines work? That's quite interesting. How that it's just a dormant. Yeah.
Well, there's all sorts of different ones. So a vaccine is essentially a substance that elicits an immune response. A lot of people get quite worked up over what exactly constitutes one and stuff, and that's the best definition because in the olden days, you used to be able to, in the olden days, the main thing was just giving a dead version or a on its last legs version of the pathogen into your bloodstream. So your body goes, that's a foreign body. We'll make a bunch of antibodies to it that basically bind to it and kill it. And so next time you have that infection that's not a dead version or an inert version, your body goes, we've seen this before. We know how to make these antibodies. Let's attack it really quickly. And those few pathogens that get into your system are killed straight away by your immune system. Whereas if you haven't got that, if you get a full live active version of that pathogen and your body doesn't recognize it, it can multiply before your body really figures out what's going on. But that's why mRNA tech is so cool, because rather than having to give a dead or inert version of it, for example, with COVID, rather than having to give a dead or an inert version of the COVID virus or whatever pathogen into your body, you can go, actually, on the surface, it looks like this. And all we need to do is get that surface protein into your body. So you tell your body with an mRNA vaccine to create the surface proteins of whatever pathogen, so your body recognizes what it looks like on the outside, which is all that matters. Your body, with that mRNA, essentially the mRNA is basically a blueprint. So the mRNA goes into your body makes bunch of copies of these surface proteins. Your body goes, that's foreign, let's kill it. Has loads of these antibodies, so that next time when you get the real virus, it goes, we know what that surface looks like. Here are the antibodies to kill it straight away. Let's go attack it. So yeah, really, really interesting.
But fighting isn't always the answer.
No. And I mean, there is the sad thing, obviously, of, I worked in biotech and medicine and that sort of stuff. Yeah. In that, first of all, no medicine is 100% effective. There's, whether it's polio, measles, MMR, none of them are 100% effective. You can still get vaccinated against something and still catch it. The number of antibodies in your blood decreases over time. So you often need top-ups. And it just depends on what you're getting vaccinated against. And obviously, vaccine is a medicine and there are, unfortunately, side effects. That's why we leave it up to the medical professionals to say, statistically, you're more likely, you're better off having this medicine than not having this medicine. But that doesn't mean that having it, you're perfectly safe. So there are people that have taken ibuprofen as painkillers and ended up dead or severely brain damaged, and you can get late onset paranoid schizophrenia from just taking painkillers and stuff. So unfortunately there are side effects, but the world of medicine does often, especially in the scientific world, try to do its best to keep us healthy. And it is such a great bit of tech, but unfortunately nothing's perfect. And I think people get a bit too hung up on the fact that it's not perfect. Oh, it doesn't give you 100% immunity, so what's the point? Or there are side effects, so why do it? But ultimately the whole living is a game of statistics, kind of like driving along wearing a seatbelt. You get certain people who get in a car crash, and had they not been wearing a seatbelt, they wouldn't have been strangled, or they wouldn't have been they wouldn't have had a serious neck injury, or they wouldn't have been pinned underwater due to the seatbelt. And unfortunately, you can say, you know, oh, if he wasn't wearing a seatbelt, he would have survived. But statistically, you're much safer off having a seatbelt, and that's certainly the case with the vast majority of modern medicine. But
Absolutely.
yeah, interesting.
That was interesting. Thank you for that.
No worries.
They're going to love that. Last one is oddly specific because I study pharmacy and I work with loads of potentially poisonous substances.
Ooh.
Number 5. Having something toxic on my fingers and somehow getting it into my mouth or making something toxic on accident. This fear developed when I had to sign a paper that basically said, if anything that is in the lab put your health/life at risk, you won't blame the university. And I've had to rethink every life choice at that very moment. That's all I have for you today. And if you ever want to hear another outrageous ranking, I'd love to send them to you. Cheers.
Oh, that is
So,
freaky.
The whole poisonous substance on the hand trick.
Yeah.
I sometimes get conscious of that when I'm cleaning my bathroom and stuff.
Yeah, me too, actually.
Because even at home products, you can make a deadly mix. You could make chlorine gas and kill yourself. So
That's so true. You can make mustard gas as well really easily,
Yeah.
which kills you. And yeah.
There's lots. So don't combine cleaning stuff together. That's a really important thing to not do.
Yeah.
Ever, because those are strong chemicals. And if you combine the wrong two, you're dead.
That poor girl. Because again, she could be taking all the precautions.
I mean, this is a specific thing. Like, she's at way more risk
Yeah.
because of this.
Yeah, that would freak me out, because you could be at home and just be like, am I 100% sure?
Yeah.
And things just do go wrong. We are humans. There's human error involved in everything. You can wash your hands and do everything right, but yeah.
Even stuff like accepting a drink from someone or some place, you haven't seen where it's come from and stuff. Sometimes I get a bit funny about that.
Even we were talking about tap water last week.
Yeah.
You can drink tap water, and a bunch of people have got ill in the UK
Yeah.
because the water wasn't treated
Devon.
properly, and they drank tap water that
Yeah.
had diseases
There
in
was
them.
bad bacteria in that from animal feces.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a hypochondriac as well. Health
I can
anxiety
be,
is my
Yeah.
my only really thing where I'd be like, I've got slightly. I don't know. Is that a mental health thing? Health anxiety? Because it's anxiety, I guess. Like
Yeah.
I don't really have any kind of like
Yeah, it's not
depression or anxiety or anything like that. But then I've started to realize I do worry about my health a fair amount.
I do as well.
Yeah.
It's not fun.
Which is why
is
I
it?
loved reading so much about vaccines when I first started again. Because the idea that you just can't be, like, I think people hear immune and you think, oh, if you're immune, you can't catch anything.
Yeah, it's not.
And when I first started working in biotech and medicine and stuff, that you can't be immune to anything. There's no such thing.
And I can't especially not be immune to your bullshit.
Like, yeah, you can have all the protections in the world and, still go out and get polio and measles and all of it. And you're that's actually really scary.
I am always scared of like picking something, like especially something outrageous up as well. Like, I don't mind if I pick up a cold. I'm a bit pissed off. But I just, when you're just thinking, I really hope I don't pick up something really fucking rare and dangerous.
That happened with Sri Lanka because obviously before we went, our doctor had to brief us and say, here are all the things you can get. Here are the recommended vaccines. Here are some more.
Yeah.
And I was just looking at the long list and being like, wow, knowing some of them obviously in detail about how bad they are if you catch them. And then obviously just knowing like, oh, this vaccine's only going to give me 95% protection against this horrible blood disease. And it's quite scary. It's the one thing that kind of puts me off traveling the world a lot. It's going like, there's just so many risks, but I don't think it can hold you back.
What?
It just makes me worried.
There's risks in our own backyard.
That's so true.
But
You're the risk in my backyard.
No, in your back. What?
That guy's never been in my backyard.
No, I was saying I found out like not that long ago that men can pick up STIs from toilets because men's peni, if it touches the rim of the toilet, which sometimes it might happen, you can transfer an STI that way. So a man,
I'm now washing with soap.
Man goes in with an infected penis.
I didn't know that.
His penis touches the toilet bowl or the rim. If your penis touches that toilet bowl or rim, you could end up with an STI.
I imagine that's the same with women.
I didn't hear anything about women. I think it's because
Bro tunes out when women are brought up.
No.
He is horrendously sexist.
No, it's because they're front bums. When they sit down to go to the
Front
toilet,
bums.
is nowhere near in contact with anything. Whereas
Depends how big
ours
they are,
can
right?
be. Bro does never seen a front bum
Laura,
in his
can
life.
you Google how big
Front bums.
No, don't. She's Googling it.
She's
No,
not even Googling.
She's not. Laura knows when we're joking.
Well, he wasn't joking. He'll be searching this afterwards. Depth of front bum.
Depth is not what I meant.
Yeah. It was.
That was
But
one
yeah,
of the things when I went to Hungary. I went
what,
to
the depth
Budapest.
of front bums?
What? I went to Budapest and we went in those public baths, and they were like,
Yeah.
don't, because it's the perfect temperature. It is like 38 degrees, like perfect pathogen duplication temperature.
I'm like that with hot tubs as well. But hot
That's
tubs,
got
do you know
chlorine in
what?
it though.
I'm going to say it. Fuck hot tubs.
What?
After I'm in there for 5 minutes, I've got a headache. I'm too hot. I can't handle heat, really. I feel sick. I sit out on the edge. I'm lightheaded. My eyes are stinging. That shit's not good for you.
You are such a dweeb. You're
And
one of
I-
those kids. I get my.
And I feel like I'm wheezing a little
Oh,
bit
forget
I'm
your
just,
dad. I've got a headache.
I'm just breathing in chlorine and bromine. And I love the bros, but bromine I don't love.
I had a hot tub growing up, so they're like my favorite thing. After a long day, especially surfing in cold water, getting out and just being like, I'm so cold, taking on my wetsuit that's all sandy and freezing cold, spraying down and then just sitting in a hot tub and just being like, wow.
Ugh, I would rather get in a cold plunge than a hot tub every single day of the week. Because I feel good coming out of that, but I don't feel good coming out of a hot tub. You've been in human soup with chemicals that make your face hurt and your lungs hurt. And you're too hot, you're overheating, you need a drink, you're dehydrated. What else? People could get in there with athlete's foot. And go on, you tell him. Okay, he's got athlete's foot.
No, I haven't got anything wrong with me. I'm a perfectly healthy human being.
Bro, there ain't no way.
Physically, that is.
We'll
Mentally,
get you tested.
who knows? And on that bombshell,
Jeremy Clarkson.
yeah.
I'll be
Go
Alison
watch
Hammond.
the Clarkson's Flam vlog if you haven't.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Really?
yeah, I think this has been another really long. How long have we been rolling, Lara? Hour 43. People liked the last one because it was really long, and we've done it again. So
So to the two people who are still watching at this point, thank you.
thank you. Make sure to like, rate the podcast, subscribe on YouTube, rate the podcast on platforms. We need an outro. When George does it on the Useless Hotline, they know exactly what to say. They're reading off a script. We do this, and then we keep waffling for like 3 minutes.
People love it raw though. This is raw, unedited. Did you just burp or growl?
I grunted. I went, no one likes it raw from you, Batch. Do all the things to make us happy. And join the Patreon for extra content. And most of all, thank you for watching / listening. And sorry KSI isn't in this video today.
He's not in the thumbnail. We're not doing that. That's taking the piss, I think.
Bye.
Bye.